Guys, Fortnite is making a big change to emotes. They're actually changing their entire name, and we're going to talk about all of it in today's video. But if you guys don't know, a new update is coming out tonight. I believe downtime is starting at 4 a.m. Eastern time, but something that's kind of flown under the radar is this new update to emotes. As you guys can see here, Fortnite emotes are being changed to dance emotes. Now, obviously, not everything is going to be called a dance emote. If there's like a wave or something like that, or like the burpee emote, things like that, they're not going to be called dance emotes, but any emote that has dancing, which is a majority of them, are now going to be called dance emotes, and they are going to work just a little bit differently. As you guys can see here, it says, while using a dance emote, any player can do the same dance with you at the press of a button, even if they don't own the emote. If you guys haven't noticed, I'm not really sure how you haven't, but if you have the same emote as someone, if they're doing it in the lobby, if they're doing it in a game, and you walk next to them, even if it's not in your, emote wheel, like right there, you don't actually have to find it. You can just do it with them. And it used to be only exclusive to people who actually had that specific emote. So if someone was doing, I don't know, like Jubilation, you would be able to walk up to them and do it with them, but only if you had that emote. But now the biggest change with this is that even if you don't have the emote, if they're doing a dance emote, you can now do it with them, which is actually really crazy. A pretty big change that not many people are actually talking about. I think this does change a lot with emotes especially, and we're going to talk about how people are reacting to this here in a second. But in addition, these multiplayer emotes are currently called synced emotes, but will be renamed group emotes. Now, more emotes will be considered dance emotes in the future, so I don't know if this means that all of them are going to be considered dance emotes or just some of them. I assume all of them eventually will be. They just have to wait to, code this, I guess, or put these new parameters into all of the emotes that include dancing. But what's interesting too is that these multiplayer emotes are currently called synced emotes, but will be renamed to group emotes, which is a bit confusing because not all dance emotes are technically synced emotes, but some dance emotes are synced emotes, if you know what I mean. It's kind of like a little bit confusing there. But synced emotes, I think, would be stuff like, the Metallica songs, the songs where anytime you join in, you'd become like a different, like if you're in a band or something like that, someone's on the drums, someone's on the lead singer, someone's the bass, things like that. And not all of these dance emotes are like that. So what this could possibly mean is that now with these dance emotes, instead of it, not being, you guys not doing it at the same time, maybe now they will be synced up. So you guys will actually be doing the emote together. Now we actually do see this in the in the small trailer that we got for Sabrina Carpenter, which by the way is coming out tomorrow after the update. Hatsune Miku will be gone from the item shop. All of her stuff will be gone for probably a little while, I would assume. But as you guys can see here, we do see this in the trailer here. They are actually doing emotes together, and I don't know, I don't know if this NPC who's in the background actually has the emote, that she's doing, but it is synced up with her. Like as soon as he starts it, he's perfectly in sync with the Sabrina Carpenter skin doing that emote, which is really interesting. So are these dance emotes actually going to be, completely synced and you don't have to have the emote to actually do it? I think that's a really, really interesting change and changes a lot of the dynamics around emotes in general. Now, this is really interesting, you guys, because I feel like I don't know how big this is in Fortnite now, but I remember back in the day when you tried to perfectly time emotes in the lobby. I don't know how this is going to work in the lobby or anything, but just things like that, perfectly timing emotes with people was always kind of like a big deal. It was surprising, especially when you did it accidentally. It was always really cool, and I think that kind of sucks that, that like excitement is going to be gone now, because now all dance emotes are going to be synced when you do them next to somebody. I don't know how I really feel about that. That just kind of sucks. That's not really a huge deal. I don't really think this is a giant deal in general, but how exactly are people reacting to this? Someone said on reply to this tweet, they said, it gotta cater to the soft players who think they're entitled to own or have access to everything in the game. And that actually got, considerable likes on this tweet. It was one of the top liked replies. And this is interesting because a lot of people are saying, it's not like they're getting to keep the emote. This really doesn't matter. This is cool because, people, but specifically me, the scenario emote is one of my favorite emotes in the game. I love the music with that. And I think that would be really cool if I'm able to dance with somebody. Also, some people, are saying, so stuff I paid for, people can use for free. Some people are saying it actually kind of defeats the purpose of buying an emote. I don't know if I would go that far, to be honest, because it is still like yours, like you're still able to do it. The only time that somebody else is able to do it and when they don't have the emote, if someone else in their lobby or someone they're near does it too. I think this kind of, I don't necessarily if this defeats the purpose, you know what I mean? Because you're still getting the emote and you're able to use it whenever you want. It's just, it's not necessarily exclusive to just you. And this goes back to Fortnite kind of wanting to get away from exclusivity in Fortnite in general. I think that's really interesting, and this is just another step that kind of confirms that's where Fortnite is going. But another thing I think is interesting too that a lot of people are bringing up is that this is kind of killing, dance battles and emote battles. You know, Party Royale, one of the only things that was like making that game relevant. I don't know really how popular those videos are nowadays anymore. I know they were a few years ago, but when people would go into Party Royale and they would have these like dance offs, they would have like dance battles, and it was like, you know, a battle of whoever had the more emotes or who didn't have an emote would win. And that's literally done now because anybody can do any dance emote that anybody else has as long as somebody else does it with them. I think that's really interesting. So Party Royale is now completely irrelevant. There's literally like nothing to do in there that you can't do anywhere else. Dance battles was kind of like the only thing in terms of content creation that people were doing around Party Royale. This change just completely destroys it. So I just thought this was interesting, you guys. All in all, you know, dance emotes are going to be the new name for emotes with dancing in them, which I feel is a bit more suitable for, you know, the context of the emote. But now everybody is going to be able to do them as long as someone near them is doing them. In addition, they will also be synced. This is a very interesting change. I think it's just kind of Fortnite trying to move away from exclusivity, making everybody feel more included with Fortnite and its space. Especially, you know, Fortnite, a lot of people say that Fortnite is like money grubbing and all they want is to try to squeeze as much money out of people as possible. And I think this kind of rebutes that idea, because you would think if Epic was really as, you know, greedy and like money grubbing as they thought, this is absolutely something they would not do. Like if they wanted people to buy emotes, they would just bring them back. You know what I mean? So I think that's really interesting. Kind of goes to show what Fortnite's mindset is with exclusivity and cosmetics. But let me know what you guys think about this change down below in the comments. Good or bad change? Do you care? Do you not care? Let me know. Drop a like on today's video. You watched all the way to the end. You must have enjoyed, so drop a like. Subscribe to the channel. I make videos like these every single day. Use code PROZEROYT, and I will see you all in the next one. Peace.